coming up on this edition of Access Virginia Beach. See how the city is lending a helping hand to those less fortunate. And you've heard of Jack in the Box, but what about Don in the Box? Find out what this guy is doing in there. Plus, it's the winter season, but that doesn't mean it's time to hibernate. We'll bring you the highlights from the Winter Wildlife Festival. That and more are coming up as we access Virginia Beach. Hello and welcome to VBTV's Access Virginia Beach, a program that informs you of news and events from around our city and schools. I'm Lindy Fay. Thanks for joining us. Homelessness is a problem that affects countless cities in the U.S., and Virginia Beach is not immune. In fact, every night, hundreds of people have no place to call home. But the city of Virginia Beach is working hard to help those less fortunate receive necessary services.
Homelessness has been a problem since there were human beings on this earth, and it always will be. It's how we treat it, how we work with it, and how we view it can either help or hinder the population and the society.
Annual events like Project Connect Day of Services helps people who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless access important resources.
By reaching out, we hope to make a connection and engage people and let them know that the community cares and that we are wanting to work with them to help them get out of homelessness.
From health screen checks to hot meals, a variety of services were offered.
We have a lot of things. Haircuts is very popular. The Lions are here doing screenings for vision, hearing, and diabetes. AIDS testing. We have the school system represented, housing, human services.
And a number of nonprofits were also on hand to help out those in need.
They got people here to help people find jobs and housing, and I think it's a great thing.
The annual Homeless Count and Homeless Connect are required by HUD yearly. Information gathered helps with future funding.
From a planning perspective, it helps us to identify what types of programs might be needed to serve the folks who have the specialized needs that we see. Primary reason that we do the count is to obtain the federal funding that's available through the Continuum of Care process.
Official numbers have not yet been released, but preliminary data suggest an increase in the homeless population. More than 400 folks attended. This is one of many programs the city offers as part of its 10-year plan to end homelessness. To see what other programs are available, log on to vbgov.com/housing. Like that last story just showed us, many families are having a hard time making ends meet. To help citizens stretch their dollars, the city recently joined the Mayor's Action Challenge for Children and Families and established goals to help citizens become financially secure.
Although the state initiatives tend to be coordinating.
And to help spread that message of financial stability, the Department of Human Services recently teamed up with educators, nonprofits, government entities, and other experts to host a community discussion on the impact of the recession.
It's obvious that as a department we can't do all of that. So what we decided to do is get all the players who are helping out those families at this point. Trying to identify those families will be something we do in the next 6 months or so. But what we want to do is be able to link them and refer them to services that are already provided.
The forum was an opportunity to discuss community needs, share work that is already being done, and to talk about the future.
So many families live payday to payday, and they don't realize that they're in grave danger of falling into financial instability. So that's one of the reasons why we want to go out and be proactive about the message we deliver.
Information gathered from the forum will help the city implement a new initiative called 500 Families Financially Fit for the Future. Say that 5 times fast. Log on to vbgov.com for upcoming events and details. And across town, the school division hosted a forum of their own designed to help families gain insight on parenting. Parents, educators, and community members were invited to Lansdowne High School for the annual Parent Connection Conference. From keynote speakers to multiple breakout sessions, attendees listened to a variety of advice on simple parenting solutions and much more. Financial counselors, family development experts, and educators were also on hand. The Virginia Beach Parent Connection is designed to link families to community resources and activities. For a complete list of upcoming events, log on to vbschools.com. Most parents don't realize the importance of installing their child's car seat properly. As a result, many of them are used incorrectly, which is exactly why the Virginia Beach Fire Department wants to make sure it's done right. Here's Access reporter Peter Van Heest with the details.
Using a child car seat is not only the law, it's the best protection you can give a baby when traveling by car.
We see so much tragedy every single day. By having a child properly seated and fitted in a properly installed seat can avert some tragedy by keeping them safe should the vehicle become involved in an accident.
Okay, so she's 4. She'll be forward facing in your car.
To prevent that needless tragedy, parents are encouraged to visit the fire department and learn the proper techniques for installing car seats.
It's important for them to learn how to do it in case they need to change the seat, put it in a grandmother's car, babysitter's car, a rental car. They can't come to the fire station every single time, so we'll assist them by educating them and having them install the seat, and we'll help them out.
4 fire stations located around the city are participating in the program. Parents can stop at any one of the 4 stations listed on the screen.
There, if you forget about any of this, you'll have your manual, and you'll also have a cheat sheet on the sides.
Parents will not only walk away with the knowledge of how to properly install the seats, but more importantly, with confidence.
And it gave me a lot of peace of mind, too, to know that after I've done it right. I've got it tight enough, and I've got her in there correctly, and that she's going to be riding in the seat correctly and safely.
If you have a worn out, abused, or even borrowed child safety seat, it may not be safe. In an effort to prevent needless injuries, Drive Safe Hampton Roads is teaming up with the community partners to host the 22nd annual Safety Seat Roundup. Is your safety seat over 8 years old, from a yard sale, or involved in an accident? Then drop it by any of the locations listed on your screen during the entire month of February. You'll receive a $5 gift card to Walmart, and materials from the old seat will be recycled. And a reminder for parents, all children under the age of 8 must be properly restrained in a child safety seat or booster seat. The Contemporary Art Center of Virginia is well known for its unique art collections, but when a new exhibit featuring uncanny life-size sculptures is unpacked, well, even the regulars are amazed.
We're going to watch the exhibition and education team uncrate the last full-size piece.
No, you're not seeing things. This sculpture really is larger than life. CAC employees are busy unpacking their newest exhibit.
We're unpacking the ultra-realistic sculptures by Mark Seigen exhibition, and it opens on February 10th to the public. From 6 to 8 we have an opening, so we've got 5 life-size sculptures, 3 torsos, and 9 heads. So his eyes right now are over here. I want him to look at me.
These bizarre life-size sculptures are setting up shop at the Contemporary Art Center. From blemishes to bald spots, the artist paid extreme attention to detail while creating this cast of characters.
When people come into the space, they're kind of blown away that they are so hyper real, that they look like you and me and people that we see out on the street. But they're also kind of on the verge of movement, so they're not really static. So I think he wants people to think about what they might say, what they might be thinking, who these people are.
To achieve the uncanny realism, the artist applies up to 25 coats of paint for the flesh tones. Seigen's work has won him recognition throughout the country. You can check out his work firsthand from February 10th through the end of June. Log on to cacv.org for museum hours and admission. While winter weather may have some folks in hibernation mode, the outdoor enthusiasts in this next story don't let colder temperatures halt their fun with nature.
My name is Steve Living, and I'm a wildlife biologist with the Watchable Wildlife Program.
Welcome to the Winter Wildlife Festival, a chance to witness wildlife all around Virginia Beach.
And you'll see that bill is longer than his head is.
We have a bunch of different trips, excursions, and workshops to get people either that are just learning about wildlife involved, or also give people that are avid birders a chance to see some of the migrating waterfowl.
We've been birding mostly the Beasley Tract, which is that side of the road, and this is the Whitehurst Tract.
The 3-day event included educational workshops, bird walks, and excursions like this one to Whitehurst Tract.
Well, this is a great area. We have impoundments for waterfowl. We had the chance to see some pintail ducks, some mallards, Canada geese. We had a huge flock of snow geese fly over, trumpeter swans. We've also seen northern harriers, which are a marsh hawk, lots of sparrows.
The Parks and Recreation Department teamed up with a host of local partners to host the event, which attracted both novice and expert nature lovers.
I thought it was great. I'm not a serious birder, but I like to be around birders, so it was the perfect trip for me. And I love the great blue, and we saw 2 great blues, so it was a great day for me.
What we want people to come away with is a real appreciation and love for wildlife. We want to promote wildlife-based recreation, because through that we can promote conservation.
Close to 300 people attended the festival, and plans are already in the works to host it again next year. Check back on vbgov.com/parks for upcoming event information. Coming up next on this edition of Access Virginia Beach, Let your fingers do the talking. The police department offers a new way to fight crime. Plus, does collecting 6,000 pounds of food in 5 days seem impossible? Not for these students. Find out how they did it. That and more are coming up next.
Step back in time to learn the story of determined individuals who wanted more for their children. The Union Kempsville Museum tells the story of the first and only school for African American children in segregated Prentiss Anne County. Located at the Renaissance Academy in Virginia Beach, the museum contains artifacts from the school's history like old photographs, athletic equipment, and prom queen crowns. Interactive features keep the stories of triumph alive. The school may be closed, but the legacy lives on. Visit the Union Kempsville Museum, a story for all people.
Welcome back to Access Virginia Beach. I'm Lindy Fay. In 2001, Virginia Beach became the first city in the Commonwealth to be certified as a crime prevention community.
So this is an honor for me.
And at a recent council meeting, the city was presented with yet another certificate, signifying our third and latest recertification.
And anybody, any professional in law enforcement will tell you that any police department, any sheriff's department is only as good as the citizenry allows them to be. If you don't have a relationship with your community, then you're not going to be very effective.
What the DCJ did find effective was that the city has remained the safest city of its size in the nation and has the lowest crime rate of a city between 350 and 700,000 residents.
We have so much support from our community. These partnerships that are occurring, they are really working, and you all reaching out and making those offers to these people is really making a difference. And for that, I say thank you. Let's continue the good work, and I look forward to you all getting your next award. But thank you all very much.
Thank you.
In 2007 and again in 2010, the city met the rigorous requirements set forth to be recertified as a crime prevention community. And the police department has made the city even safer now. They're now offering 2 new methods to anonymously report a crime.
Simply pick up your cell phone, enter for a new text, enter crimes.
Now crime line tips can come over a text.
Now we went to this new technology which enables the citizen to go ahead and either by their text, by their telephone, their cell phone, they can go ahead and text in VB tip along with their tip to crimes. And it anonymously goes through different servers and back to our computer so I can have a 2-way dialogue with that individual.
Using your computer is another way to report a crime.
Another alternative is they can go to the website www.crimesolvers.com and tap onto the button down below that says give a tip. In a format or form will pop up and they could go ahead and fill that out, and the same thing. It goes through different servers. The information gets scrambled, and then it's sent back to me, and we have that tip.
Animosity is the key ingredient to making the text-to-tip program successful. Public involvement in reporting crimes helps make Virginia Beach one of the safest cities of its size in the country.
Obviously, police officers can't be everywhere all the time. This affords the citizen the opportunity to assist us in cleaning up the neighborhood, making the city of Virginia Beach a safer place for everyone to live.
And as a reminder, if you have any information that may be key to helping the police solve a crime, you can submit that information in one of 3 ways. By phone, you can call 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. You can text VB tip plus your message to 274-635 or crimes, or you can log on to crimesolvers.com. Governor Bob McDonnell and the Virginia Board of Education recently bestowed some excellent awards on 43 beach public schools. 7 schools, including Kemp's Landing Magnet, Kingston, Old Donation Center, Pembroke, Red Mill, Thorogood, and Trentwood Elementary are all recipients of the prestigious 2011 Governor's Award for Educational Excellence. To qualify for this award, schools must meet all state and federal achievement benchmarks for at least 2 consecutive years. 14 schools earned 2011 Board of Education Excellence Awards, and a third honor, the Competence to Excellence Award, was earned by 22 beach schools. To view a complete list of awards, log on to doe.virginia.gov. The classes offered at the Virginia Beach Technical and Career Education Center are dedicated to preparing its students for quality career employment and lifelong learning. Early childhood education is one of those programs.
It's gonna be wet. Where are you gonna go?
The Early Childhood Education program offered at the TCE is a 2-year program for students interested in careers working with children.
The preschool program at the Virginia Beach Tech Center is a 4-day-a-week program for children ages 3, 4, and 5. It is a lab preschool that is run by 2 early childhood education instructors, and we use our high school student teachers to help us in the preschool classroom.
Open for business October through the end of May, the center offers hands-on learning experience while focusing on preschool social, emotional, physical, and cognitive skills. It provides students a real-life learning experience.
Like, I always thought, like, there's not too much to know about kids, but there's a lot, like, there's a lot. There's just how to handle kids, how to handle separation anxiety, and just all that stuff. It's prepared me for a lot.
During the program, students will study topics such as health and safety, career paths, and child development, all preparing them for future education or joining the workforce.
We would like to teach our high school students the value and educational foundations of becoming an early childhood instructor. We want them to pursue educational and career goals, and helping them to learn how to prepare activities and lessons that are developmentally appropriate so the preschoolers are ready for kindergarten.
Helping to prepare them for the next level, 11th and 12th grade students get involved in play centers, arts and crafts, building blocks, and technology.
I believe the division's goals for having an early childhood program with a lab preschool is to help high school students further their education in planning for their careers. Because this is a technical and career education center, the students are getting hands-on experiences working with young children, as well as classroom experiences dealing with methodology.
Preschool offers morning sessions from 8 to 10 a.m. and afternoon sessions from 11:35 to 1:35. Freshmen and sophomores interested in enrolling should contact their school guidance counselor, or they can log on to vbschools.com for more information. Service-based learning is one factor of the school division's strategic plan, Compass to 2015. An assignment at Cox High School infused this technique into a community service project involving the Honors English 10 curriculum. Their first assignment was a food drive to benefit the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia.
We've incorporated service-based learning into our 10 honors curriculum here at Cox High School. And basically what that is embedding service learning into an already existing curriculum framework in which the students take on a service learning project and stay with it for the entire year.
After being contacted by the food bank, students put a plan of action into work to collect food items across the community.
I think we're making a difference in the community. We're showing that one person can make a big difference no matter how much they do. And it shows that just a group of us kids donate over 6,011 pounds of food in 5 days.
Today we raised 6,000 pounds of food to give to the food bank in Virginia Beach. And it's just amazing that we were able to do this in 1 week and to try and do this for the world. It's great.
While this 21st century learning initiative is being spearheaded by the English department, it is a cross-curricular endeavor.
As you can see behind us, there is a huge student turnout to move up to 6,000 pounds of food that we have for the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia. Several students have gone out into their neighborhoods, into the community to raise awareness, to collect canned goods and bring them into school.
And the fun doesn't stop here. Several future projects are in the works, and these students are ready for the challenge. And now for the official tally, 6,360 pounds of food were collected, all of which was picked up by the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia. From finger paintings on the fridge to famous works found at the museum, art is appreciated in all forms. So when students from Rosemont Forest Elementary were asked to create pieces for a charity art auction, they got a little help from some pros and put their talents to the test.
So you apply the paint, make sure you get everything that you want to show.
Talk about calling in the experts. Seniors from the Visual and Performing Arts Academy made a special stop to help out these young artists.
It can be abstract if you want.
They're sharing their gift of art with these youngsters as part of the collaborative lesson.
We're teaching them a lesson about art. It's for our community service project, and they're making collagraphs which are going to be sold at a silent art auction benefiting cancer.
The seniors planned the entire hands-on class, which included a range of materials.
We have tons of fabric, strings, and cardboard, trying to get different textures when you print out your prints.
Although fun was had by all, the hope was to spread the love of art while also contributing to a good cause.
Before we even started this, we talked about what they wanted to do, what they thought would make a difference, and how they could be community activists but also include arts, because they were given a gift and they need to learn how to give that back.
Several classes participated. Their works of art will be sold at a silent auction later this month, and the money raised will be donated to the Cancer Society in memory of a former Rosemont Forest student who lost her battle with cancer. And with that, we've come to the end of our show, but if you've missed something, you can view this program online. Log on to vbgov.com/eStream. We leave you now with a look at Putty. This cutie is a rehabilitated harbor seal that was released into the cold waters of the Atlantic recently. He can credit his speedy recovery to the Virginia Aquarium and Marine Science Center Stranding Response Team. For everyone here at VBTV, I'm Lindy Fay. Thanks for watching.